Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Odin's Movie Blog. I am the critic who is a cynic. How is everyone doing this evening? Happy Saturday to every single person out there. Hello. Very sorry for the late start, but as you should known, if you were following me on Twitter and also on Discord, I had family in town. My parents were in town tonight, and so I was out having dinner with them, getting ice cream, chilling with them, and they just left to go to bed for the night. And so here I am. Don't know how long I'm going to be on. I'm going to try and go for about an hour or so before going to bed myself because I am freaking exhausted. But hello, everybody, as everyone's starting to jump in over here. We got JJ in the chat who says, first, what's going on, JJ? How's it going, my bruv? The Senate is here. G-Monkey76 is here. Stream Elements is here. Lily Patton is here. Mirrored Ginevra. Mirrored Jeremy. How's it going, bruv? Mark Lazur's here. What's going on, Mark Lazurth? Hello. Random Brad Creates. How's it going, good sir? Lou, hey mate, how's your day been? My day has been interesting, man, because let me tell you something. There is a cult out there on Twitter, and it's called the Alita cult, specifically the hashtag Alita Army cult. It's a bunch of people that are treating a hashtag on Twitter, a Twitter hashtag, as if it were an actual human person. And they are saying that you can't use the hashtag the ways that they don't want you to use it. And they will criticize you. They will even flag your comments. It's ridiculous. So I've been dealing with that a lot today. And it's so funny to see some of their friends jump in and say, why are you still going on about this? Just let it go. It's like, hey, I have no problem stopping this conversation. The problem is that one side is crazy. One side has a bunch of screws loose. One side is essentially a cult that is obsessed with not just a movie, but a freaking hashtag. It's pretty ridiculous. I've had Josiah Rises jumped into the discussion, and he found out for himself just how crazy these people are, and it's pretty insane, man. But other than that, my day's actually been pretty good. Spent most of the day with the family, and it was very nice. How 2000, what's going on, man? Super Anime Gamer, heyo, what is up, my dude? What is going on? How's it going? Soul Assassin's here. What's going on, Soul Assassin? We got Father Christopher Miller. Father, hello, Father. Hope your evening is going well. Thank you very much for being here. Frank the Tank of the Clan, what's going on, bruv? How is it going? Bling Dream, Odin in the house, what's going on? How's it going? Mark Lazar says, did you see the bromance video of Gary and Jeremy at New York Comic Con by Echo Base Network? I've not seen that video yet, but I have seen a lot of footage from Comic Con, and man, oh man, they're having a lot of fun up there, and I'm pretty jealous. I'm hoping to go to the next con event around across the country at some point because I just want to hang out with Gary. That's like my life goal, is to actually meet Gary in person and hang out with him. And it looks like they're having a lot of fun. Glad I was not with Cecil last night, who was just drunk out of his mind and plastered out of his mind, because that's just not my thing. But God bless Jeremy for actually being able to put up with that for as long as he did. We got Laura in the chat. What's going on, Laura? Super Anime Gamer says, I'm good. Spent my evening just chilling out watching the New York Comic Con panels and kind of kicking myself. I didn't go because I live super close by. Yeah, dude, if you live close by, go. I mean, I'm kind of in this unlucky situation because I live in an area of Tennessee where we're not near a national, or either an international airport. So it's one of the regional airports, which can only go directly to a couple of different cities, which then obviously from there I could go out, but it's a hassle. Ticket prices really aren't that good because of that reason of having to go to these different places. And yeah, it's really sad. I really wanted to go, but unfortunately not this year. Hopefully next year. It'd be really cool to go with Geeks and Gamers crew. I know that much. John Early says, do you ever dance when the do you ever dance within the wait, what? That's not right. Do you ever dance with the devil in the pale moonlight? That's the word you're looking at. Yeah, John Early, you're missing a line there, man. Tell me, do you ever dance with the devil in the pale moonlight? Something like that. Soul Assassin says, the video of Cecil was hilarious. It was funny for a moment. It definitely was. But then I just put myself in Jeremy's position. I thought, man, if I was in Jeremy's position, I would not find this to be funny at all. Let's see. Laura says, Jeremy must really love Cecil because he normally doesn't seem to like being around alcohol. He's a good friend. Yeah, seriously. And having been with Jeremy before at a bar setting, I know that he does not, again, just like me, just does not like that atmosphere. And obviously Cecil is just a fun-loving person because he was putting up with so much, and it was pretty amazing to see. Frank says, glad you got a handout with got to hang out with your family. Dottie has her puppies. Oh, yay! Congratulations to Dottie. JJ says, you can always go to BubbaCon. It's in Tennessee. That's right. JJ, I think I remember you or someone else had mentioned that about a con being there. Bubba Fest. Yeah. I remember someone had mentioned it. I think that I don't know when it is this year, but I think that there were some decent people coming to those events. But it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, I could go, but I want to go with people, right? I want to go with people that I know. Because I don't like going to random places with crowds of people that I don't know. It just drives me crazy. We got some action over on D-Lab. We got Captain Dean Heiss over there. What's going on, Captain Dean Heiss? And Bot, how's it going, good sir? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Super Anime Gamer says, I'm definitely going next year. Panels are great and had no idea all the Phantom Menace crew was going to. I'm also kind of broke right now. I hear you there. That's definitely extra income I would not have been able to spend. It's like, obviously we're fine, but it's one of those things where it's that extra income, right? So I would have only been able to go if, for example, if the Geeks and Gamers press passes were able to cover entry and things like that. And I would only have to worry about, airfare. Then I probably could have afforded to go. But in the end, I'm kind of glad that I was able to be here for the weekend because fall is finally starting. A cold front's in the process of moving through. By Monday, it'll pass through, and we're going to be finally in like the 50s and 70s here, which is something I've been looking forward to for a very long time. It's great to have actual seasons, and I'm very excited for that. Very, very excited for that. Let's see. Laura says, I nearly quit the... Then she deleted it. Hopefully you fix that. So, Dr. Gooey, I think that's not exactly the name you're going for, so be very careful with your troll name. But Dr. Gooey, thank you for the lemon donation. And if you're trying to troll, don't worry, because I've turned off the notification for DLive people because DLive has been filled to the brim with trolls recently, and we don't take kindly to that over here. Again, you will be blocked. You will be banned over there if you decide to troll in that way. But Dr. Gooey, thank you very much. Beats of Angel says, can't believe you're still dealing with the hashtag Alita Army gatekeepers. All of you, all for you comparing Captain Marvel. Yeah, man, seriously. Like that's all that it is. That is all that it is, Beats of Angels. Is they are gatekeeping a freaking hash. It's a hashtag. And again, don't get me wrong. I love Alita. Again, I love... Like, there's only a few movies this year that I actually genuinely love, right? Joker's definitely up there. Joker's my new number one film. But in my top 3, top 4, Alita's up there. Again, Alita was a very special experience. And to be able to share that love with other people, to be able to say, guys, go see this movie, and to hear a bunch of people say, hey, because of your recommendation, I saw this movie, and man, oh man, was it great. And the fact that most of that was influenced by the comparison that was being made with Captain Marvel, it just makes me go, what the hell are these people talking about? No, don't do that because you're going to distance it and you're no, blah, blah, blah. It basically comes down to this, right? So this hashtag, right, is what they're obsessed with. That's the main thing. Because the hashtag, I'm sorry, if any of them claim to have created the hashtag out of thin air, I don't buy it, right? I mean, hashtags on Twitter are just a dime a dozen. Everyone is saying something at some point in time, right? What they've done, though, is they've said, oh, this is our group's name. We're not just the Alita Army. We are the hashtag Alita Army. So when someone like me decided to start using it because I was like, hey, no, I'm a part of Alita Army too, because guess what? Alita Army literally just means Army for Alita, which means, hey, I support Alita and I want to try and bring more people to understanding and loving that film. And then all of a sudden, I'm getting, reprimanded by people saying, oh, you can't use it when you're comparing it to Captain Marvel. We're completely positive. And I'm like, hey, that's cool that you're completely positive. You go right ahead and support Alita in a positive way. I support you in that. But don't criticize me for making an honest and accurate comparison. They were 2 films that came out around the same time. They both have a female protagonist. One is protected by the media. The other is demonized by the media. It seems to be that they go hand in glove. It seems to me that they go hand in hand with each other and should be compared. Because one of them is actually a good movie, while the other one is not a good movie. And again, you can like both movies. But objectively speaking, one is good, one is not. And it's just amazing to me. It really is amazing to me that they have not let this go yet. And so one of them actually thought it was a bright idea to say, oh, why don't we bring it to a poll? And I was like, no, because guess what? Even if we do a poll, you are still not going to honor the results of it. And then they said, oh, what, are you scared? I'm like, oh, you want to play that game? Okay, let's go ahead and do it. And so the poll has been live. There's 2 days left on the poll. If you have not voted on the poll, please let your own voice be heard. Do you think that the hashtag Alita Army hashtag, that's right, a Twitter hashtag, should be used however the hell you want to use it, only for positive words or no opinion on the matter? Make sure you go ahead and vote on that if you can. It's my pinned tweet on Twitter. It's Odin's. You can find me at Odin's Movie Blog, all one word. With 400 votes in, so it's only been up today, and with 400 votes in, 58% of respondents said, go ahead and use the hashtag however you want. It was almost at 70% earlier, right? And then I found out that one of them had literally been tagging every other fandom group. So they were going after the Captain Marvel bots. They were going after the Zack Snyder cult. And they were literally just tagging every fan group they could think of to try and get them to come and basically control the results of the poll. And then they claim that I'm the one that's controlling the results, saying, oh, you're just, you're manipulating it the way you want. It's like, look, this is a very fair poll. Again, you know how I feel about this. I think that people should be able to use a hashtag for whatever the hell they want it is that they want to use it for, right? I don't think that there should be any restriction on that, right? And yet, here's the poll. It says, they asked for it. Fans get to decide how to use a hashtag. What say you? How should hashtag Alita Army be used? And the three options are however you want, only positive, no opinion. That's a very fair poll. It is a public poll. I have a public profile, meaning anyone can access it. You don't have to follow me. You don't have to like me. You don't have to do any of that. You can still vote in it until you're blue in the face. And when the initial votes started coming in, it was overwhelming. And then, of course, they claim that I'm the one that's controlling the results. And so then they reach out to other fandoms to try and control the... It's just, oh my God, it's hilarious. It is getting to the point of it just being hilarious at this point. They are just so full of themselves. And it's just, it's insane. It is a cult. It really is. These are people that literally are obsessed with the film, obsessed with the actors, obsessed with every single thing about it. One of them actually said, oh, I'm a bigger fan than you are, and it's because I've seen the movie 200 times in theaters, etc. And I'm like, well, hold on one second, man. That's not fandom right there. If you see a movie multiple times in theaters, okay, yeah, absolutely. I understand that. But if you're seeing it even over 100 times in theaters, that's obsession. That's not just fandom. That's downright obsession. If you are going to spend hours of your day going after someone for using a freaking hashtag on Twitter the way that you didn't want a hashtag to be used, that spells that there's a problem. There's something not quite right going on in there. And it's just amazing. And also, too, what my favorite line from them so far has been, okay, I'm done. 5 seconds later, they come back with another tweet. Okay, now I'm done. 5 seconds later, they come back with a tweet. They don't stop. They don't know how to stop. It's insane, man. It is totally insane. See, getting back to the chat for a second, though. Agosa Olusa says, in your opinion, what makes Sarah Connor and Ellen Ripley different from other strong female characters in terms of impact? Well, for one, they're strong characters. That, to me, is the biggest difference, because they are strong characters on their own, right? On their own. They don't need a political message. They don't need wokeness. They don't need anything other than simply just being well-written. It's not that they're a strong female character, it's that they are a strong character. And I think that that's the reason why I bring up the Captain Marvel versus Alita dynamic. Because Alita is a well-written character, a fleshed-out character with flaws, with strengths, right? Is a character that a lot of us can get our heads around and say, oh yeah, this is a well-developed character. Captain Marvel, on the other hand, is not a well-developed character. Has a lot of problems, has a lot of holes, is in many ways a Mary Sue, is strong even when she's being held back. She's one of the strongest persons in the universe. And then, of course, there's the whole subtext of it being the patriarchy that's holding her back. And again, it's complete political jargon, complete political propaganda. Alita, on the other hand, no. Just a strong character. So getting to Ellen Ripley and Sarah Connor, the reason why they're great is because they're great characters, not because they're strong female characters. See, Hammer says, that Star Wars girl states, I don't think Martin Scorsese is a good director at all in her video. Are we being trolled? I don't think we're being trolled. I think that Anna is a person of very strong opinions, and I don't think that she would just simply troll that. I think that she might honestly believe that. I think she's dead wrong. Scorsese, objectively speaking, is one of the greatest directors of modern times. You can not like his movies. You can say that you're not a fan of his work, but I don't think anyone with any knowledge of film would say that. Again, I think if I were to talk to Anna, she would say that she respects the work that he's done, but she's not a fan of that work. At least I would hope so, right? It would be the same for me with Guillermo del Toro's The Shape of Water. I think the movie sucks, narratively speaking. However, I'm still going to be able to step back and say, I might hate this film, but artistically, it's gorgeous, and the visual effects are amazing. I can at least give up those objective truths, right? So I think that she would probably do the same thing if we had a full-out conversation about it. John Early says, I'm writing in the dark right now. Anyway, I'm writing a story that's kind of weird. It has to do with time travel and people from past being jealous of their future selves. Interesting. Let's see. Chat jumped on me, so let us see where we are. I don't think we're that far behind. It's a slow night. That's because I started late, so it's no problem. It's no problem. Soul Assassin says, sounds like we need to warn Rosa Salazar about those cult of Alita guys could be trouble. Yeah, I agree. Like, the way that these people are acting on Twitter honestly reminds me of someone that would like try and kidnap someone or try and do something really creepy. I agree. I think that it's not outside. Again, I'm not claiming that they would do anything, but the way they're acting over a hashtag on Twitter seems to indicate that there's not something quite right going on. Super Anime Gamer says, and I got burnt the first time I went to New York Comic Con, but I realized now that my friend group made a lot of mistakes prepping. Crowds are insane, but I'm willing to deal. And I think that if you went with a group and just hung around with geeks and gamers, right, that you would probably get a pretty good mix. Because from what I could tell from the footage so far from Jeremy, they were not going to all the panels. They were not going to every single event. And obviously there's just so many things. There's too many things. And that's one of my biggest problems with Comic-Con and just the general con experience in general is that they've got so many things going on that you have to pick and choose, meaning that there could be two things you want to go to, but you'll have to choose one or the other. And I understand why they do it for time and for space and everything like that. But I'm a person that likes to be able to, get everything figured out, Dr. Gooey, thank you very much for the ice cream donation over on DLive. Jake75, how's it going? How are you doing, good sir? Frank says, the puppies were on Mega Random 42's live stream. They are already YouTube stars. Damn right. That's awesome. Timbo Monahan says, what's your favorite DC movie? At this point in time, not counting the Nolan movies, right? I would have to go with Joker. Joker is now my new favorite DC film. It was Shazam. I would say DC Extended Universe, so the connected universe, right, is still Shazam. I think that's just the best overall film, and it's definitely my favorite. But if I had to choose modern, the modern DC universe that's not a part of the Nolanverse, which I think is, again, its entire type of thing, even though Joker arguably is in its own universe because they don't plan, at least at this point, to make a sequel or to make it into a franchise, I will have to go with Joker. Mirror Jeremy says, I'm going to see Joker tomorrow, and I'm so damn excited. Good, man. Go see it. I would say if you haven't seen it yet, what are you waiting for? Seriously, go see it. Go give this movie your money. Let this movie be something that can, basically be a part of the movement to get this film to $100 million. They already are predicting it's going to make $92 million. So if you are on the fence with it, go see it. Seriously, I don't think you're going to be disappointed. It's not a movie for everyone. It's a dark film. If you don't like dark, slow burn character studies, then you're going to hate this movie. It's not an action movie. But if you do like slow burn character studies, but you're kind of hesitant because of the Joker connection, don't. It ties in flawlessly with the Joker storyline. It ties in flawlessly with the DC universe. And at the same time, it's just a damn good movie. So please make sure you go see it if you are not already going to see it or have not already seen it in the first place. Lou says, far out, mate. I agree with you. Why don't they spread more positivity? Anyone should be able to use it. Exactly right. If they want to continue on being positive, go ahead and keep on doing it. But for them, they say, oh, we are, but we're also going to call people out that misuse it. It's like, it's a hashtag, man. It's a freaking hashtag on Twitter. Yeah, you may have named your little cult after the hashtag, but it's still a hashtag. It lives independently of you. You do not own the rights to it. And one of them who has now blocked me on Twitter and also randomly decided to send me 3 Alita Blu-rays to give away, which again, thank you, dude. I'm going to give them away. And I can't wait for more people to get those Blu-rays because Alita is a great film. I've given away the movie. I've given away so many copies of the movie on this channel alone. I love supporting it. But for you to try and come in and gatekeep, and this is the dude who's, again, since blocked me, who reported one of my tweets, and I was able to screenshot his response because his response was, to me, extremely telling of what I think a lot of these Alita Army cultists are. For some reason, a lot of them seem to be German or European-based, which it kind of is an odd concept in the first place. But one of them said, well, you made fun of me, and that's against German law. I was like, well, thank God I don't live in Germany, and thank God for freedom. Because if it's against the law, and all I did was call him the king of asshats, because I had, so basically, he left a comment that was really stupid. And so I retweeted it. I'm like, look, we got the new king of asshats here. And he reported that. And you know what Twitter said? That's not violating our rules. And thank God for Twitter. Seriously, Twitter actually does something right for once. And then his reasoning as to why he reported my tweet was because, oh, well, that's against the law in Germany. I'm like, have a dose of freedom, man. HyperNext13 says, hi, dude. Saw Joker and loved it. 9 out of 10 for me now. But might change later on. Want to give it a second watch. It's definitely worth a second watch. I can't wait to see it again. I want to see it in IMAX. Because the big D format was definitely not, I know a lot of people are laughing that I say that word, but that's what the format is called, was not that impressive. IMAX, on the other hand, usually tends to be very impressive. Beach of Angels says, they should just shut the hell up. This is a pointless, it is pointless. And of course, many people are going to point to me saying, oh, why don't you just stop it? I'm more than willing to stop it. If they were to say, hey, agree to disagree, I'd say, okay, great. But they're not doing that. Instead, they're doing that double speak. So they're saying, all right, I don't want to argue this anymore, but just know that if anyone ever misuses the tweet, I'm still going to go after him. It's like, that's the whole point of this discussion. The whole point of the discussion is try to point out just how futile that is, but also just how just stupid it really is. And my whole point of this is I want to expose it. I want to expose the stupidity. I want to expose this cult because they're the ones that are going to give Alita a bad name. Because people are going to look at that from the outside and say, who are these crazy people that are obsessing over a hashtag? Oh, this is that so-called Alita army. Oh, Lord. I didn't think I wanted to join a cult. When they'll look at me, and obviously they might say, oh, this guy's being an ass, which, again, I think there's a fair argument to be made there. But also they see a guy who's just basically, I've said it 1,000 times now in the replies, is all I'm trying to say is everyone should be allowed to use a hashtag the way that they see fit. Support the movie the way that you want to support it. That's all I'm saying. I think that's a pretty commonsensical approach. Hey, support a movie the way that you want to support it. As long as you're not like killing someone or doing something violent or breaking the law, hey, go ahead and support the film, any film, the way that you want to. But that's not good enough for them. They don't want that. They instead would rather just jump on and go on and on and on and on and on, saying, oh, I'm done, I'm done, I'm done, I'm done, I'm done, and then never actually finish. It truly is just, it's amazing. It really is. All right, heading over to D-Live for a second. Captain Gentry says, do you know how many copies of Alita you've actually given away now? Again, it's beyond, I know one person sent me 5 copies to give away, so I think that was, 5 copies. I gave away, I think 5 of my own, and then I also gave away the gift cards for the Steelbooks at another time. So I've probably given away like 15-ish copies of the film, counting digitals too, which, is not crazy. And of course, like they would go off and say, well, you know what? I've bought 100 copies. Good for you that you have that much expendable income to be able to use on a movie that you're obsessed with. Again, I'm all for fandom. I'm all for loving a film and supporting it. But this is obsession. This is cult-like behavior. And it's really, really creepy. Also, Laura, thank you for posting a link to the poll. So at 8:50 in the chat, she posted a link to the dirty Twitter poll, as she described. But yeah, dude, it's been several copies. And again, you can go back to those streams because those streams are either going to be unlisted, which means if you just find the tweet, that link is still going to be active, or they're going to be live on the channel. It's so ridiculous, man. It really, really is. Bruce says, I made it. What's going on, Bruce? 70B says, hi, are there going to be Joker spoilers? Please, not yet. I don't plan on it. However, I cannot stop people in the chat. So I would say people in the chat, if you could please not spoil anything about Joker, and I will try to do my very best to avoid it myself. And I'll let y'all know if I'm ever going to be moving into spoiler territory. But also, Juan Solo 71, great name. Thank you for subscribing to the YouTube channel. I appreciate it. Grandmaster Yoda says, I made a Twitter post on if you will see episode 9 in theaters, and I will not take it down if no part get a good lead. All right, again, dude, shorter sentences, man. Focus on just context there. I'm seeing episode 9 in theaters. However, I'm going to do my typical Odin self and get money to the theater, but probably to a different film, and then walk in to go see that. So the theater will still get the money, but Disney will not. Laura says, I could argue that Captain Marvel or Endgame killed the superhero genre. Oh, Laura, you absolutely could. And that's why I'm fully supportive of Martin Scorsese's words recently. That was the video that I did today, was that I'm fully agreeing with Martin Scorsese when he says that Marvel films are just not that good. They're like, he compared them to being theme parks. He said they're not cinema. I think there's a lot of truth to that. And again, that doesn't mean that they're not entertaining, right? That's not what he's trying to say. Theme parks are pretty fun. Theme parks are a lot of fun. You might even love a theme park. But there's usually something lacking, right? There's no actual substance to it either. And that's why I think that Joker is a great counterbalance to that, because it deals with a comic character, but also has it grounded in reality and is also just a damn good movie. I want more movies like that, to be perfectly honest. I really hope we get it, man. I really do. Let us see here. Where are we in the chat? CW Trixie says, after seeing the Birds of Prey trailer, I already miss movies like Catwoman or Elektra. Damn! Ooh, that's a little bit rough. But yeah, Birds of Prey does not look good. Oh, it does not look good at all. I am quite worried for that. Laura says, I have no idea how to evaluate a director. So basically, Laura, the way you evaluate directors is you have to figure out first what kind of director they are. There are visual directors. So those are ones that have a lot of hands-on with the cinematographer, where basically it's them working in tandem together, where every single shot is framed a certain way. So I would put in a Guillermo del Toro as a visual director, Ang Lee, another person who's a great, Peter Jackson, right? Those are visual directors. And so that's why you can look at their vision and see, oh, this person has obviously got a really good grasp on things, right? But then you also have actors directors, and those are people that focus more so on the performances that come out of their actors overall. I would put Woody Allen in there. That's the reason why. There's a reason why most people want to do a Woody Allen film, and it's because it's going to be one of the best chances they have to win an Oscar, or at least get nominated, because the amount of nominations and wins that have come out of his movies is insane, right? So basically, you just have to know first what kind of director they are, and then from there, that's what you can look at in a given film, right? Also, the way that a film is just put together and crafted, obviously you have editors and cinematographers, but the director is the one behind the scenes pulling all the strings. And so you're able to kind of look at it from a further back point of view, I guess you could say. Lorenzo Who says, why are we not allowed to forget Captain Marvel? I don't bring up Black Panther every month just because I like it. So on. He says, why are we not allowed to forget Captain Marvel? Again, you can. You can absolutely forget the film because it's a very forgettable movie. However, I also think that at the same time, I should also have the right to be able to talk about it. Let's see. Father Christopher Romero says, happy you started late as I have the visual 6:30 visual mass. Oh, well, that's awesome, Father. I'm glad that we're able to start it after that. Yeah, I do my 9 a.m. mass Eastern time on Sundays. CAF Productions coming to the stream. What's going on, CAF Productions? Asgard says, hello, howdy, Odin. How are you? Doing just fine. Super says, yeah, our mistake was nobody in my friend group had gone to a con before. We went on Sunday, which I now know is the worst day, and they only wanted to see one thing and didn't tell me. Yeah, that's not good. That's not good at all. John Early says, Thor Odinson getting his hammer back in Endgame and catching it and saying, I'm still worthy was a nice moment. Yeah, that actually was one of the weaker moments, to be perfectly honest, because he was still Fat Thor. And so it had no impact on me whatsoever. There were very few moments in Endgame that to me were really special, to be perfectly honest. Super says, I had no idea about said thing, and it wound up overlapping the things I was interested in because we didn't plan and navigate. We left at 2 p.m. Thanks for letting me vent. No problem at all, man. I totally understand you. I hear you. All right, jumping over to D-Live for a second. Captain Gentry says, oh, I am so going to start dropping spoilers now. And Captain Dean Heiss says, Captain Marvel, is that actually a real movie? It sometimes doesn't feel like it, right? It certainly doesn't feel like a real movie, and yet it sadly exists. Captain Mr. Roy, thank you for dropping the diamond donation, man. I appreciate you. Let's see. Phantom Menace over on YouTube says that Walking Dead is getting another spinoff about coming of age in the Walking Dead universe after the fall of humanity. This place has 9,000 or so people, and that is all we know. Yeah, I have no interest. Walking Dead kind of just destroyed itself. It went on far too long. It's meandering. I haven't watched it in like a season or two because it just became so monotonous. So I have no interest. I have no interest in that universe anymore because they just they did too much, way too much. See, Hammer says, how did the Big D theater compare with IMAX and Dolby Cinemas? Not even close. Dolby is still, I think, the best way to see any movie. You get the reclining seats, you get the like pitch perfect image and sound. And then IMAX, you just get a giant screen with giant sound, right? And so those two formats are still far superior. Big D is essentially a rip-off version of IMAX, and it's just so disappointing. It really is. I'm really glad that I had the AMC A-list card because I would never pay for that ever again. I can say that much. I really can. Let's see. A couple things happening over on the Twitter. Let's see. So Foxfire over there says, already 370 votes and still 2 days to run. Context, option A means also using the hashtag Alita Army to say negative stuff about Captain Marvel. This poll reflects an ongoing discussion. I don't know if the poll would actually change things, but it interests me what people think. Well, again, no. It's all about, can you use a hashtag for whatever purpose that you see fit? It really just comes down to freedom of speech at this point in time. If you think that it should only be, and again, I could have worded it very, very differently. I could have easily said, no. One person saying freedom of speech, the other person is saying limit your freedom of speech, and then no opinion. Because that's essentially what's going on here. But instead, I kept it fair and said, however you want to use the hashtag, or only positive. So, Foxfire, if you think that it's only positive, don't try and taint it with your Captain Marvel comparison. Again, all I'm trying to say is that I should have the right to do that without being criticized for it. And again, you have freedom of speech to criticize, but you don't have the ability to own a hashtag, right? It's ridiculous. And then Disney is Zalem over there says, I think it's time to get off the Alita fandom's backs and hop on the Joker freight train. Mainstream media tried to take down the Joker movie just like they did to Alita Battle Angel, Rambo Last Blood, and Shaft. Did you see the Joker movie? I'd like your take on the media. So Disney Zalem, hopefully you follow the channel a little bit because I've done a lot of accounts and a lot of coverage of that. I've done a lot of coverage of Joker and just how amazing of a movie it is. And again, I agree. I would love the conversation to stop. I would love it to stop. But they just keep coming back. And keep in mind, too, that all of this started not because I was out seeking a fight. It's because all of a sudden I get a notification that I'm tagged in a tweet. And in that tweet, I'm getting called out for something that is not true. Trying to say that I was misrepresenting, that I purposefully misrepresented the hashtag Alita Army fandom. And I was like, whoa, this is not the case. That's what started it all. Someone tagged me. It wasn't just that they were talking randomly. They tagged my account on Twitter, calling me out. And then when I responded, they were like, well, I don't understand. It's like, do you realize that this is the equivalent of you going out into the public street and then just calling me out by name and saying that I did something wrong. And I'm standing across the street going, this dude's talking crap about me. I'm not just going to sit by. I'm going to defend my honor. All right, let's see. Getting back to the YouTube chat. CF Production says, I think the only reason the media SJWs are hating on the movie is because the Joker is not played by a black man and there's no anti-Trump message. Unless there is, but I doubt it. There really isn't any anti-Trump message, that's for sure. And it really comes down to the fact, here's the reason why the media hates the movie. There is no agenda. There is no political agenda. That's why they hate it. If the movie was jumping on their SJW bandwagon, they would be loving this movie. Because again, objectively, it is a great film. If you were to go to all these so-called critics and ask them, hey, point by point, how would you grade the acting? How would you grade the editing? How would you grade the cinematography? If you were to go objective with all of those things, they would give it A's, A pluses. And yet many of them are giving the movie failing grades. And it really comes down to the fact that there is no agenda that they can jump onto. That's why there were actually people that I think loved it at first, because they thought there was an agenda they could jump onto. And then when they realized that it really wasn't there and that their friends were not agreeing with them, that's when people started to kind of abandon it overall. Let's see. HyberNext13 says, in Germany, isn't it considered rude to put your hands up on a table? I have no idea, but it would not surprise me. Alice Riley says, does the "and more" in the title include SmackDown? Probably not, though I will say this much. SmackDown, to me, was a giant disappointment. It was way overhyped, and that ending just destroyed any interest that I had in the product. I came back just to be. Beast of Angel says, who is that Twitter guy that blocked you? I don't really want to give the guy any special attention. But he's one of the ringleaders, right? There's two guys that are essentially ringleaders of the entire hashtag Alita Army cult, and he happened to be one of those ringleaders. Anthony, thank you very much for the $20.31 the $20.31 donation. Is a quote. It says, make a habit of two things to help or at least to do no harm. Hippocrates? He says, there is so much preaching and dictating how we should feel that they totally ignore the people they are supposedly championing. We become more discerning to what we support. Yeah, and again, I think that's really what it comes down to, is that they are so obsessed with dictating to people how to support a fandom that all they are doing is making themselves look bad. And again, they can point the finger at me all they want and say, you're the one that brought this up, you're the one that started. I was called out. I was called out and lied about. My Twitter name was tagged in there. And again, in most situations, I'd say, okay, whatever. But the fact that this actually was a conversation that happened months ago, and we ended on good terms. We ended saying, hey, agree to disagree, we're to go our separate ways. And everything was fine. And I thought everything was still fine. And then all of a sudden I get this notification and someone's lying about me. And I'm not okay with that. I'm not okay with someone claiming something about me. And it was about a blog post that they claimed was, it's an article with wrong information. I was just trying to correct it by throwing you under the bus and saying that you did this thing on purpose. It's like, no, I did nothing on purpose. All I did was use a hashtag. I got criticized for it initially. And then some crazed cult leader went after me for no reason. And I love how he tries to come off as he's this calm and collected individual. And then there's a bunch of tweets of him just, F this and F that and F this person. And then, of course, he deletes them later on and tries to say, oh, look at all these calm tweets. And then the best ever was that he tried to say, oh, you said that I wasn't polite in asking my request that you stop using the hashtag. And he shows like the very beginning of the conversation. And I'm like, hold on, full context. Let's show the entire conversation. And it's literally him saying, hey, dude, going off on long tangents. Stop using the hashtag. And I was like, hey, I respect your opinion, but I strongly disagree. I'm still going to use the hashtag. Sorry. I think that we should be able to use it however the hell we want. And then he went off on another long tangent and said, stop using the hashtag. I'm like, you're not hearing me, obviously. I don't agree with you. So please just leave me alone and just, you support the fandom how you want to support the fandom. I'll support the fandom how you want to support, like how I want to support the fandom. Just, agree to disagree. Couldn't do it. All right. And so, of course, that went on for forever and ever and ever. Finally, eventually, things just, simmered down a little bit. And then again, got called out. It was ridiculous. Really was. Stephanie says, do a poll tonight, Alita Army versus Freedom. I think we all know how that would end up. And in all reality, that's exactly what's going on right here. Like, seriously, that's exactly what's going on right here. The fact that it's, can you use a hashtag however you want, or is it only positive? And what's great is that the person that suggested that said that they would respect the results, but then about 10 minutes later said, oh, this is something, this whole poll is rigged. And it's like, there's 411 people that have voted in that poll. If you're going to try and say that I created 300 profiles, no, that's just outside of the realm of reason. That does not make any sense. It's just that most people don't agree with you. In my opinion, what this is doing is exposing just how small this Alita cult really is. Because they're acting as if they've got these thousands and thousands of people that are part of their group. And in reality, it's probably just a handful of people that are all just, again, obsessed, crazed, and not just over a movie, but over a hashtag. That's the bigger issue here. It's a freaking hashtag, man. Bruce says, Odin, I spent 3.5 years in Germany, and I do not believe that there is a rude law because there are a lot of rude Germans. Damn, son. Damn. See, Eric Lesinski, thank you very much for the subscription. I appreciate you. CI Production says, Odin has time to buy 1 million Alita Steelbooks for giveaways, but not time to see Joker in IMAX. Oh, yeah. Instead, I had to see it in the Big D. I had to see it in the knockoff version of IMAX. You're right, man. You got me. You called me out. Alex McCarthy says, no one owns the hashtag Alita Army tag, and we can support Alita how we see fit. And if they're not down with that, then I got 2 words for you. Sorry. Yeah, absolutely, dude. Absolutely. That's all I'm saying. That is my argument. That is my side. If you want to know my side, it's, hey, it's a hashtag. It's freaking Twitter. It means nothing, right? It's literally social media. It's a freaking hashtag on Twitter. Therefore, my argument is, hey, if you want to support Alita, if you want to claim to be a part of an Alita army, because guess what? Alita army is not just a small group of a cult leader. Again, the cult leader might be able to say, that's what we call ourselves. Okay, good for you. You call yourselves that. This hashtag still exists and was born independent of you, and therefore can be used independent of you however anyone sees fit. And hopefully without you having to go after them in that way. So, yeah, man. It's so ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. Again, trust me, I would love to be spending my time talking about how amazing the Joker is, because the Joker is amazing. It's so freaking good. But no, instead I have to deal with these idiots. I have to deal with these asshats, man. I have to defend my honor. I don't get it. I don't get it. Laura says, Lion King is still in the theater here, for Pete's sake. That's ridiculous. Yeah, Lion King, which is one of the 5 highest grossing films of the year. Let that sink in for a second. Gosh, man. Sparman Jeremy says, I will admit, I never saw MCU movies as anything more than popcorn movies. As Mecca calls them, they're great, sure, but they don't really mean anything. Exactly. There's a few of them that I would say definitely mean more than others, right? But for the most part, they are just that. They are popcorn films. But the problem is also that they're the same formula over and over and over again. And so they get to be stale. And so when someone like the great Martin Scorsese comes out and says that, I'm like, no, you're absolutely right. See, Hybrid says, I don't understand why everyone is hating on Scorsese. At least he said those movies are well made. But I honestly prefer 10 Taxi Driver-like movies rather than the same popcorn flick. Exactly. Exactly right. You look at the entire canon of Scorsese films, they're all different, they're all unique in different ways. You look at most of the MCU films, the 22 or so MCU films, most of them are the same. I mean, it really is, I think, amazing to me that people just can't seem to understand that. Apollo Patriot says, we Jeremy in here. We Jeremy in here. Okay. 7B says, when are we doing another movie night and trivia night too? Sometime in October. I would say that the best chance for either of those would actually be this coming week, because it is fall break, which means I'm going to have a little bit more time. I'm going to try and use that time to catch up on movies in the theater and also at home, and hopefully be able to also get some stuff together for a movie stream or a trivia night stream. So stay tuned for more on that. Bruce says, we cannot forget Captain Marvel, least we repeat it. Yes, exactly. Exactly right. Grandmaster says, I don't know how much Joker will make, but it will make shills look like idiots. Oh, yeah, for sure. It's making money. It's not going to make $1 billion. And anyone that thinks that it is, you need to remember one thing. It's not getting a China release. Yeah, I know. That's ridiculous. Almost any movie that comes out from Disney gets a China release, but Joker, arguably one of the biggest films of the year, does not get a China release. So that's a good $200+ million that is unaccounted for, which means that the film, in all likelihood, will be no more than $800 million. I don't even see it getting that high necessarily, though. I think that the film is going to be between $500 and $700 million, and I get that because the first It came out, made $700 million worldwide, did not come out in China. So I think that that's what you're probably going to have going on is it that is making between $500 and $700 million. And I can't wait to cover the box office tomorrow because I'm excited to see. I don't know what it's actually going to turn out as. Heading back over to D-Live for a second. Captain Dean High says, hashtag Alita Army. I thought you created that. No. Again, I don't know who actually created the hashtag. It definitely wasn't this group of asshats, I can say that much, right? They might be the ones that said, oh, this is really great. We're going to name our entire movement after this. Good. Okay. That doesn't mean that you own it. And even if, let's assume, let us give the benefit of the doubt and say that they did create the hashtag. Okay. You still don't own it. So you go ahead and support the movie however it is that you want to support it. Let other people do the same. Let other people do the same. Captain Dean High says, live action reboot of Fox and the Hound. Thoughts? So it's going to be a CGI reboot. with more photorealistic animals. Great, because we all know that worked so well for Lion King. Well, it made $1.6 million. Yeah, okay, it made a crap ton of money. Yes. But does anyone actually honestly love The Lion King, the new one? Or do most people understand that it's heartless? And if you were to do that to Fox and the Hound, that whole movie is heart. That whole movie is heart. When the old lady has to give the fox up, tears. When they have to come together, when the two friends grow up and then they meet each other later in life as adults and they have to make a decision, tears. All that's going to be gone if they try and do this photorealistic nonsense, man. It's ridiculous. Alex Carly over on YouTube says, I'll be too busy watching WWE Hell in a Cell tomorrow, but I think I might watch Batwoman Monday and do a ceiling fan video. Got it, man. Yeah, I'll be watching Hell in a Cell tomorrow as well. I say can't wait, but I mean, the only thing I'm looking forward to is the Fiend match, and I'm kind of concerned they're going to ruin the Fiend. Because I will say the worst Fiend segment so far has been the Friday Night SmackDown, and I would not be surprised if Vince had his hands all over that segment, because it definitely did not feel like the Bray segments of late, for sure. But yeah, that's right, Batwoman comes out tomorrow. I'll have to find a way to watch it at some point. Captain Assad says, Odin went to see the Big D. Damn right. JHand04 says, Walking Dead still exists? Huh? It does. I don't know how, but it does. Alistair says, agreed, Walking Dead kind of got lame for a bit, but the last part of the past season picked up the pace. Okay. I still don't want to watch the other two seasons. Bruce says, have you let loose River and Willow upon the turkey yet? Yes. And they've already, River already ripped open part of the turkey. So we had to take it away from them because they were making a mess with it. Captain Assad says, Odin the Joker was amazing. Do you remember when Joker did a thing, then did another thing, and something happy, and then Nick Fury shows up to invite the Joker into the Avengers? What a twist. We said no spoilers, Captain Asshat. How dare you? Laura says, Twitter makes me sad. It makes me sad too. It really does. Survey Terminator says, I am with the Alita army, and you have my full permission to use the hashtag and respect. Well, thanks, Serbian. Unfortunately, I don't think the cult leaders are going to agree with your assessment. And seeing that one of their minions suggested the poll in the first place, and then even the person that said, I will respect the results of the poll, is now saying, I will not respect the results of the poll. Yeah, something tells me that there's even though the vast majority of people are coming out clearly saying that you can use the hashtag however it is you want, 416 votes. Still 58% of people saying use it however you want. Something tells me that they won't listen. And it's sad. It really is. Bruce says, I saw no agenda, and if there was one, it was overshadowed by the awesome story. Exactly right. Orange Hat Review says, what's that noise? I can tell you what it isn't. It's not the sound of news idiots reporting on tragic events because of a movie. The news and feds owe us an apology for assuming the worst. Orange Hat Reviews, I agree. In fact, you know what, to be honest? I think the media should be investigated. Oh, you can't say that. Oh, no. CNN, MSNBC, New York Times, all of the mainstream media, they, to me, merit to be investigated because I think there's an argument to be made that they were trying to incite violence by them covering wall-to-wall coverage about a frickin' movie which didn't do anything other than simply exist and put the fear-mongering out there, trying to destroy the film, trying to trying to say, don't go see the movie. Don't let your kids see the movie. This movie is dangerous. In my opinion, which is basically slander and libel, both spoken and in print, I think that there's a case to be made there, to be perfectly honest. I would love for someone to do that, man. If you know what would be the greatest thing ever? If the director, if Todd Phillips said, I'm going to file a court case against the media, I would be like, dude, if you want to start a GoFundMe to raise money, I know that you probably have all the money in the world to cover yourself, but I would be, if you're going to be taking on the media, I have your back. Because they were disgusting. Their coverage is still disgusting. The fact that they were chomping at the bit, they were essentially begging for something to happen. They were begging for it. That's sick. If you were a part of CNN, New York Times, all these places that were begging for something to happen, even though there was no evidence and no proof that anything would come from it, you are sick. You need help. And God have mercy on your soul that you would try and push something to happen because you wanted to get the frickin' ratings, man. It's disgusting. It pisses me off. All right. Grandmaster Yoda says, how do you see episode 9 in theaters without paying for it? So what you do is you pay for a movie ticket to a movie. Let's see. Jumanji 3 will probably be out at the time. And then if you have the ability to do so, you go to the theater showing Star Wars. Because at that time, then, you're not really sneaking in because it's not like you're not allowed to see it. The theater itself has made money. In fact, it's probably made more money because they get more money from your ticket after a movie's been out for a week or two than from new releases. And really, the only person that's not getting any money out of it is Disney. And in my opinion, that's perfectly valid because they're an evil organization. So, yeah, that's how you do it. Allegedly, of course. Allegedly, these things can happen. Allegedly. Can neither confirm nor deny. All right, over on D-Live, Captain Gentry says, all hail Batwoman, the true savior of Gotham. Slay Queen. And then says, did you hear about one screening of Joker getting shut down because of a threat? It was in California. Of course it was in California. Of course it was. I will say this much. If you receive a death threat or a bomb threat or anything like that, those should always be taken seriously. I think that if that's what happened, I think that would be a fine call. If they actually got if they got a threat, I think that it's better to be safe than sorry. I do agree with that much, right? If I ran a business, I got a threat, and I didn't change something, and then something happened, then I would be liable, right? So I think that it's on the business owner, I think, would have every right to do so, right? Even though personally I would say, no, don't cower in the face of fear. Stand up to it. Stand up to evil, right? Stand up to that nonsense. But yeah, I did hear about that. Captain Assad says, I got to see Joker and snuck into a Last Blood showing, allegedly, of course, and I love them both. Yesterday was a good day. Oh, hey, I'm glad that you have a great day yesterday, man. I have not seen Last Blood myself, and it's on my list of things to see this week. Let's see. I saw a comment from Steph, from my Valkyrie Steph, with a bunch of hashtags in it. Hashtag praise. Mike Martinez. Hey, man, I'm seeing Joker tomorrow. Can't wait. Dude, go see it. Hurry up. Phantom Menace says, some of the critics probably want to give the Joker a good score, but because of woke reasons and they may lose their access in the future, they dare not to. I would say that's a fair assessment. Dina says, Steph and I would like to know when you're going to show the stream that little item you got from Amazon. Yes. So a huge shout out to my Valkyrie because they sent me really cool for my birthday. I thought I had shown it on another video, but maybe I didn't. I think I just mentioned it on stream. But anyway, huge shout out to Tina and Steph, my Valkyrie, because for my birthday, guess what they sent me? Which is actually appropriate for this conversation because me being a fake Alita fan, which is something else that these crazies they were accusing me of being a fake fan for money. I don't think they realize how little money YouTubers get from ad revenue to the point where it just doesn't. Anyway, you all know I don't have to, and no one has to prove their fandom. If anyone says, prove how big of a fan you are, they're an idiot, right? But anyway, this is totally relevant to everything. So my Valkyrie know how much I like Alita Battle Angel, and so therefore they sent me Alita Battle Angel. So I've got another Funko Pop. So this one can join the one that Bruce had sent me. No, that Gannison, Alita Troll, Gannison had sent me. And this is the Alita with the motorball body on it. So now I've got two of the Alita Funko Pops. I've got Alita with the Berserker body and Alita with the motorball body as well. And of course, I still have the other thing. Since I mentioned Bruce, I still also have the Mini Epics Way to Workshop Alita as well. But of course, I'm not a fan. I'm just using Alita for money because I get so much money from Alita, let me tell you. It's so great. And also, they're all going after me saying, well, I don't get money from Twitter. It's like, I don't get money from Twitter either. If you think that I'm doing all of this for attention and for views, I don't think you understand how YouTube works. I'm amazed that the Alita videos are even doing well. I assume they wouldn't do well at all because no one else is really talking about Alita Battle Angel. The YouTube algorithm is stupid and it sucks. Like, It's like they have no understanding. But thank you very much to Steventina for that. See, Soul Assassin says, what's your opinion on the Birds of Prey trailer? It looks awful. It just does not look good. Cia Production says, The Lion King has grossed over $1.6 billion. Yep, face palm to the max. Phantom Menace says, a lot of negative scores are probably because woke stuff and future access to stuff is what they believe. Anyway, Bernie Sanders had a heart attack. Yes, I heard about that. And again, I don't agree with the man politically, but he's a human person. So praying for a speedy recovery to Bernie Sanders because he's human. And I think that it's moments like this that we need to remember that we might have political differences, we might have opinion differences, but at the end of the day, we're all human beings. Like even these crazies that I'm going after on Twitter, they're still human persons. If they came to me with a very serious thing, guess what? I would be, hey, I have your back. Let me know how I can help. If they were going through something difficult, if they were going through something like really difficult, I'd be like, hey, I'm right there for you. And I think it's important for us to always remember that. Meg81, thank you for the Streamlab donation. Says, hail fellow Streamlabber. If you're not too busy on Halloween, I'm hosting a Halloween 4 watch party. If you want in, let me know. Also, please support my Streamlab channel if you can. Hashtag Phantom Menace for life. Well, thank you, Meg81. Appreciate it, man. I probably won't be available because I'm probably going to be doing my own stream if I'm not doing something with Freya, because Halloween is a very fun time. And I'm going to say good luck to you, good sir, because I guarantee you a lot of people are going to be streaming on that night. So I would be careful with what you choose to stream. Because also, I remember that you had streamed the audio of a movie last time. Just remember, you always want to be careful with movies when you stream them. Gannison, Alita Troll, there you are. Thank you very much, man. I'm doing just fine. Tina says, working on the trivia questions. Just let me know the night when you can. I'm 43 days from my cruise and 39 from heading to NOLA. So yeah, brain is on that. Hey, Tina, I totally understand. Totally understand. Probably be sometime next week. Mirror Jeremy says, side note, what did you think of the first 2 South Park episodes for this season? I've seen the first one so far and only about 5 minutes of the second one. I'm liking it. Is it as good as the last couple of seasons? No. Obviously, I think that it could be better, but I wish there were topics. Again, because they write and make their videos weekly to keep up with modern events, there are so many things that they could be going after right now, and they're not. And I honestly believe it's because I think they're burnt out. I think that they honestly want the show to get canceled, which is why they've done a lot of their cancel South Park and doing Integrity Farms as being the main thing and not South Park itself this season. I think that they are kind of just done. And it's sad because I want them to continue doing everything that it is that they're doing, because I think they're doing great. Until like recently. Captain Gentry says, I was saying something similar about the Star Wars fandom, i.e. at times people need to realize that those they argue with are people too. I agree. No, I absolutely agree, right? I think that that's important for us to do. It's easy for us to forget that there are people on the other end of the comments and on the replies. It's very hard for us to realize that, right? And that's why I always try and keep myself as grounded as possible. If someone's going to be an asshat, well, then I'm just going to come right back with the same the same mindset, right? But if they were to come to me privately or even in public and you reveal something serious, I'd say, hey, I think it's important for us just to always keep that in mind, right? He also says, and we have more things in common than we have differences. I agree. In fact, a lot of these Alita cult people have a lot of the same political opinions that I do. A lot of them are claim to be very anti-SJW, but then they act like SJWs. And I think that's just it's so complicated, right? Because even though there are a lot of things that are similar between us, they just don't know when to let go. And I really do think there's something, again, I feel sorry for a lot of them too, because I do think there's actually honestly something wrong with them. And I'm not saying that to make fun. I'm not saying that to prod. I'm saying that in just my honest opinion. It's reminding me a lot of the conversations I've had recently with other people that have been obsessed with Jeremy, right? I just think that there is something not quite right in some of these people. Captain Dean High says, do you think Alita ended up with enough to warrant a sequel? I think that it will. Monetarily, I think that it will. The big question mark really is creatively, because at the end of the day, James Cameron owns the IP to it, and because he is working with Disney through his Avatar, he would only ever go through Disney, at least in the near future, for Alita Battle Angel, and I just don't think Disney's interested, just to be honest. So it'd be really great to get an announcement, but Disney's got so much on its plate, I don't think that they would be interested in putting a lot of time or effort behind having an Alita sequel, at least at this point in time, right? So it'd be really nice, but I just don't see it. All right, going back over to YouTube. CF Production says, Joker, directed by Christopher Nolan, stylized like Memento. That could be cool. Beats of Angel says that hashtag Alita Army cultists treat this like a real army, the authoritarian army. They really do. They really do, right? And it's also important to remember, Beats of Angels, that it's a hashtag. It's a movie. And I'm not going to be the first to say that movies can't impact someone's life, right? I think that movies are important. I freaking love movies. There's a reason why I have a movie blog. There's a reason why I talk about movies and I try and push people to go see movies and talk about why people shouldn't see certain movies, right? There's a reason why I like sharing my opinions, because I love cinema. And what bothers me the most about all of this is that these are people that are turning movies not into a fandom, but into a cult. Again, not throwing that word around lightly. It's because it honestly comes across to me, based on the things that are being said, the way that the hashtag, an inanimate object, digital code is being discussed as, that it just comes across as being something not quite healthy. Gennison says, is Star of Elion still harassing you? Yep. That's the ringleader, right? Rhaegar Targaryen says, I'm supporting the Joker by seeing it again tonight. I'm going to go ahead and rate it up there with Logan. Yep. I would say that's a fair comparison. I actually would probably say I enjoy the film more than Logan. It's been a while since I've seen Logan, and I still need to see Joker again, but I would say objectively, I would probably put it up there. Rosetta Allen, thank you for the $2 super chat, says, stay strong and remember your 80s knowledge sucks. Yes, this is true. This is a true statement. Bruce says, Odin, do you know anyone fluent in legalese? Maybe ask them to send the Alita Army guys a legal sounding cease and desist letter. That would be pretty funny. Sierra Production says, I just found out that Disney's Hercules is being remade in live action. What the hell? Dude, don't be surprised. Any animated Disney film you can think of, it's going to be remade at some point. It's going to happen. So anything you're still holding on to, don't hold on that tightly. Mirror Jeremy says, not Fox and the Hound. Yeah, all right there. Gannis says, I miss your live streams. Gannison, I miss you being in the live streams, man. I know that you've been so busy. He says also, Joker is a good movie. I agree. Joker is a fantastic movie. Lorenzo, who says, sounds like Alita herself would kick these guys in the face. Absolutely. And what's great, too, is that they're so delusional that they are saying things like Alita stands for love, and Alita stands for respect, and Alita stands for facing evil, and Alita stands for peace and justice for all. Really? So why did Alita whoop a bunch of people's asses using violence and at one point say, F your mercy, which is one of the most badass lines in the film? Please explain that to me. Again, Alita can stand for truth and justice, but peace and love? Alita is a warrior. Alita is essentially a killing machine, but also is a human. Oh my gosh. It's like, for people that are so obsessed with the movie, you didn't seem to really pay attention to what was going on. Let's see. Rosetta Allen says the media was absolutely begging evil bastards to do something because they want ratings and they want gun control. Yep. And it's disgusting. And I hope someone calls them out for it. Serbian Terminator says, do you think Joaquin Phoenix will take the next best Joker from Ledger? Here's the problem with that. I don't think it's possible to compare as far as who is better between any of the mainstream Jokers. And by mainstream Jokers, I'm not talking about Jared Leto. Jared Leto does not count. Jared Leto's Joker is terrible. Like, just objectively speaking, it's so bad that we don't even discuss it. Let's just pretend it never happened, because dear Lord, was it bad. But even thinking back to Jack Nicholson, right? Heath Ledger, and now Joaquin Phoenix, they're all great in the role for different reasons. They all bring about different character traits of the role. Even Mark Hamill's voice work and other people that have done the voices for the character, I think, could also be in that discussion, right? Now, as far as who would my favorite Joker be, to be honest, Joaquin Phoenix is up there. Joaquin Phoenix is very close to bumping Heath Ledger for my favorite Joker, for sure. But best, that one's a lot harder. That one's a lot harder to show because of the reasons as I just laid out. Right? All right. Let's see. Let us see here. Let us see here. All right, chat jumped on me again. No comments were skipped though, it looks like, but I might have to skip. I might have to skip some comments because I think I got about max another 15 minutes in me. Captain Assat says, Odin, I have a question about Joker, but I'll try not to reveal spoilers. When Joker commits the act in the subway, who identified him as the culprit? I didn't think anyone was there. So basically, the detectives in the movie, I think, figure it out because of what was being worn in that scene. And also the words spoken by the persons that he worked with, if that makes any sense. Super says, oh, Odin, random, but have you heard the news? Disney has barred Netflix ad from appearing on their entertainment networks. Thoughts? Personally, don't think it should be allowed. Yeah, it's really hard to say because I think that if you own a station, right, you should have the right to have certain decisions. But at the same time, too, it's stupid on their part because they're basically saying no to money because these companies pay money for their ads to be shown. There definitely could be an antitrust issue there, seeing that it's networks that they own and they're controlling competition, right? And they're controlling access to competition, et cetera. I'm not a legal expert, right? So it's hard for me to say one way or the other. But for one could see it as it being a smart business strategy. But on the other hand, too, how many Netflix ads do you really see? I don't feel like Netflix ever really, advertises all that much in the first place. So I don't know. It's petty, and it's no surprise that it's something that Disney would do because Disney wants to own the entire market, right, and silence their competition. But I don't know if it would exactly be illegal. Orange Eye Review says, earliest use of Alita Army hashtag was from someone named at M Gongolf on March 18th of this year. Orange Hat Reviews doing the research, man. Orange Hat Reviews is a great researcher. Go support his channel. Go subscribe to his channel. He is a great researcher. He's got a little things to work on for the video, but I know that he's working on it. And Orange Hat, if you ever need any advice, man, please message me. I can help you out with thumbnails, even though I'm not great at thumbnails, and also getting any type of equipment that you might want to get. But Orange Eye Reviews has the knowledge and has the intelligence and has the quality, right? The quality is there, but we can obviously make it look a lot better. So go support him, man. Go support him. And thanks for doing that research, man, because I was eventually going to do that myself. So according to Orange Eye Reviews, the earliest evidence of the hashtag Alita Army that he was able to find was from someone named at M Gongolf from March 18th of this year, which is not any of the persons that is in the leadership that I know of the hashtag, so-called hashtag Alita Army. So, boom. I guess my point has been made. Survey Terminator says, I went to see Rambo, and does my money go to Stallone himself? Basically, the money you give goes to many places. So, if you saw it opening weekend, about 90% of it would go to the studio. The studio then, obviously, it's hard to say, right? Because Stallone's already been paid. Stallone is also part of the production team, right? So he would get some of it, right? I don't know how much, though. Beats of Angel says, I have heard that Last Blood wasn't that good, and these are from non-shills, too. I think that's fair. I think that you can say the movie, again, just because the media shills attack a film for stupid reasons doesn't mean that the film is necessarily going to be good. I even said, if the critics were going after the movie and saying it sucked because the writing was bad, the acting was bad, I would say, you know what? If I saw it and I didn't agree with you, I would say, okay, I don't agree with your opinion there. But they were going after it because of wokeness. They were going after it because of Trumpian tendency. They were just making crap up. And so I would say that if your friends who are non-shills didn't like the movie, hey, everyone's entitled to their opinion. And to be honest, based on what I've seen in the trailers, there's probably a lot to criticize from a technical standpoint. Captain Asshat, let's see, says, Odin, I got asked if I was seeing Joker twice by the theater staff, and that never happened before. Oh, interesting. 70B says, we wanted you to have a pop. Well, thank you very much for 70B. I appreciate it. Rosetta Allen says, they just think anything a white man does is appropriation. Hashtag Alita Army. Hashtag feminazis. Pretty much. Captain Asshat says, Odin, you're a fake fan because you don't have every available piece of Alita merchandise. Also, Funko Pops are stupid. Well, Captain Asshat, Yeah, seriously, that's what the argument was. Oh my gosh, you don't have every piece of Alita merch. You're not a real fan. Shut up. Gannis says you should complete the Funko Pop Alita. I'm not really one, because again, I appreciate it, and these are things that are going to be put up right. And these are things that are going to be put on display, especially when I'm finally in my like actual forever home and I'm able to put things up and know that's exactly where it's going to stay. That's one of the reasons why I still have the mini epics and the Funko Pops and everything like that. The reason why that stuff hasn't been put up yet is because I just want to make sure wherever it goes, it's going to be up forever. But I'm also I'm not a big collector of those items. So again, I appreciate them and they're going to be put up and they're going to be displayed. But I'm a Blu-ray guy. I'm a Blu-ray 4K person. Bruce says, just look behind you. If they even watched you one, they would see Alita on the wall. And again, this wasn't even one of the ones they sent me for free. They sent me 3 free posters. That's one that I bought with my own money because I like again, Alita and John Wick. Those are two, like they're both in my top 5 movies of the year. So please, come on. Lou says, that's the crazy part. When they want more Alita Battle Angel positivity, they're hurting their own fandom. Yeah, they're literally fighting themselves. Captain Asset says, Odin, you're right that you don't make much money from YouTube. I think it's time for those cam girl stripping streams. Robin Frey says, I saw Ad Astra today. I liked it, but I won't go out of my way to see it again. That's what I've been hearing. I hear that it's a well-made film, but it's nothing too great. Nothing too special is what I heard. Grandma's Zuda says, I spend over $2,000 on Alita and have no regrets, but use $140 on Captain Woke and full of regret. Oh, damn, man. Bruce says, normally on Halloween, I watch the Rocky Horror Picture Show. Ooh, interesting. Also, I just saw this in the chat. Father Christopher Miller says, Winnie the Pooh and Randy was amazing. Okay, I can't wait to see that South Park episode now. When a priest is telling me it's a good episode, I gotta trust it. Josiah rises. Josiah, oh man, my toxic white brother, my toxic white Christian brother, also a part of the hashtag Alita Army. Josiah, I've decided at this moment we are taking over the hashtag Alita Army. Orange Hat Reviews did research. It turns out the hashtag has existed officially prior to the crazies taking over. We are taking it back, man. I am now going to fulfill the meme that's been put around me by one of my subscribers on Twitter with my head on top of Gru's body from Despicable Me. And it says, I will steal your hashtag. I've now become that, only I'm taking it back. It's becoming ours. HyperNex13, I like people who disagree, but are willing to hear different perspectives with civil conversation. Not a lot of people like that nowadays. Exactly. I'm all open to it, but we're just not getting civil discourse from one side. Survey Terminator says, it will be a stupid idea if Disney owns Blumhouse. Oh, God, that would be so stupid. Please, no. Survey Terminator also says, if Disney owns Blumhouse, Michael Myers will be a prince. Yay! Oh, yes. Hybrid says, I love movies because all of them teach me how to think differently, even bad ones. Yeah, good point. CW Trixie says, have you heard of the possible Disney reboot of Inspector Gadget? Doesn't surprise me. Gannison says, Disney has 0 ideas for making new IPs. That's very true. Superman Mayor says, Disney Hercules in Darth Vader's voice? No! I agree. Don't touch it, please. Peter Sharon says, we just have to let it go, let it go. I agree. They should let it go. They should just let it go and be positive. But they don't know how to do that. They don't know how to do that. All right, we got to start wrapping things up because I am tired. But it looks like we don't have too many chats left. DLive fam, don't worry, DLive fam. I know I've fallen behind on DLive. I'm gonna catch up with y'all once I catch up on YouTube. Jeremy Swick says 20 years from now they'll be making remakes of the remakes of remakes. Yep, it'll be remakeception. Gannis says, what are your thoughts on the new Terminator movie and Birds of Prey? New Terminator movie looks like garbage. It's gonna suck. Birds of Prey looks like garbage, and I think it's going to suck. John Early says, Allfather, do you still respond to comments and questions when the words are switched around? First and only example. No, it has to be Odin question, all one word, in that order. If Odin question is inside of a word, it'll pop up still, but the letters Odin question need to be in that order. CA Production says, Jeremy has time to go to New York, but not for the Low Council. Oh, wait. Hyper says, what is the first movie in your life that taught you patience? Mine would be 2001: A Space Odyssey. I I can't remember, to be honest. Super says, out of all of them, the Dark Knight trilogy, Logan and Joker, I think, come to close traditional cinema, and they deserve all the respect. Oh, yeah. I would say the Dark Knight duology, because Dark Knight Rises is not good. Dark Knight Rises is not good. I'm sorry, I can't defend it. Just can't. Just not good. Asgard says, hashtag Stallone Army. Boom, just made that up probably, and I say anyone can I could say anyone can use... No, Alex McCarthy, what you need to say is, I'm going to call my movement hashtag Stallone Army, and if anyone uses it the way I don't want them to, I'm going to go after them, because they can't do that. Apollo Patriot says, I want a new action Chuck Norris movie. That would be cool. Yes! Serbian Terminator says, who is better, John to you? Who is the better John to you, Rambo or Wick? Wick. Hands down, Wick. Wick is my boy. Rosetta Allen says, Josiah is a badass beardo. Awesome, man. He is so cool. Steady B says, Steph and I love giving you a little Alita figure, but you are not getting that Darth Vader Dutch oven Disney is pushing in some high-priced cookware. Yeah, please don't. Please don't. They have no business being there. Bruce says, make a banner to put on the wall, the real Alita army. I'm actually not going to lie. I was tempted several times today to create my own Twitter account and have it be at the real Alita army just to troll, because it's just the whole thing has just been so freaking ridiculous. Grandma Yoda says, if episode 9 retcons Return of the Jedi, I believe Star Wars Park will shut down in 2020. The boycott will be nuclear bomb size. Probably. Paulo Patriot says, I prefer Resident Evil movies over the weird Walking Dead, and I love Resident Evil way better zombie action. Hara Bento's in the chat. A lot of people talk about deep, meaningful movies being the exception rather than the rule these days, with popcorn movies being the order of the day. But this has always been the case. For every Citizen Kane, there are dozens of formulaic, but still good for what they were, in my opinion, mystery west. But no. Here's where I disagree with you, Harwick, is because I understand what you mean, because there were B movies, but they were known as B movies. They were always something that was tacked on to the main event. When you talk about actual main event films, yeah, there was formulas, right? But many of them were just so unique in different ways. I think that you're on to something. However, I also think that there is a slight difference. Serbian Terminator had a comment. Says, remake of Polar Express or no? One day they will. Hammer, I'm very glad Joaquin Phoenix talents are being recognized in the mainstream now. He's easily one of the best method actors on the planet. Agreed, and yet he'll probably get totally looked over, unfortunately. Mir Jamie says, Batman Begins is greater than The Dark Knight Rises. Oh, easily. Batman Begins might be one of the best. I actually go back and forth between that and Dark Knight. They're both great films. Serbian Terminator says, Hulu or Netflix? I'm going to go with Hulu because Hulu has a live TV option. Hammer says, film critics throwing shade at the great Martin Scorsese is ridiculous. They should just go home and rethink their lives. I agree. Guys says, gotta go, been nice. I'm almost there, man. Bruce says, do it with the Twitter account. Maybe. Alex says, if only I had Alita fan account logged in. Prince says, all films, what is your personal favorite character introduction that pops out in your head? Man, you always ask me some random questions. I mean, that's good, but I hate being put on the spot like that. Character that pops out. It depends on what you mean by character that pops out. I'm going to just go John Wick because that's just on my mind right now because someone mentioned it earlier. Survey says, who would you like to see? Would you like to see Jason Bourne versus John Wick? In a movie like for real? Probably not. However, John Wick would totally whip that ass. Hybrid says, Dark Knight Rises versus Endgame? Dark Knight Rises. Easily. Hulu, Steady says. All right. Anyway, jumping over to D-Live because I did promise that I would catch up on my D-Live people. Let us see here. Captain Gentry says, that's one big problem social media has given us, people not knowing when to let a topic go, when to drop it. I agree. He also says, this Alita stuff is what happens when someone tries to claim ownership of a public property, like a hashtag. You can't own a hashtag. Exactly. President Trump has followed me on D-Live. President Trump. Thank you, good sir. Captain Nenai says, Disney is in the middle of remaking all of their cartoons in live, quote-unquote, live action. Then in 20 years, they will go back. Yeah, probably. It's ridiculous. Stop supporting Disney, guys. Seriously. Captain Gentry says, plus what he dropped in the hospital was a big clue for the detectives. Yeah, I would say so. Captain Mr. Roy says, yes, Jared Leto Joker is awful. I agree with that. Captain Dean Heist, thank you for the ice cream donation. And Captain Will Gentry says, oh, don't worry about us. We are small but mighty. We will prevail, much like Alita herself. Damn right. And guess what? It's through fighting. It's through action. It's through doing something. It's just like... Oh, man. Anyway, that's going to be it for me, guys. So let me just go ahead and pull up a list because I have not updated to my October Patreon list. But let me just go ahead and just pull up my active patrons right now because I do got some new people. Some people have left, and I will miss them. But we also have some brand new people to shout out as well. So let me just go ahead and put up active patrons. And I'll have to go through this again later on. So if I leave you out, it is not on purpose. But we will get there. All right, so let me give a huge shout out to Animation Commentator, Baptist702, Brian P., Edward Colbin, Elizabeth M., Enrique Evangelista, Entertainment Hacker, Dion, Father Christopher, Patreon supporter. Thank you, Father Christopher, man. I appreciate it. I love our discussions on Twitter because I obviously am very passionate about the faith. I love going back and forth, man. Frank the Tank and the Shawhan Wiener Dog Clan, Harold Francis, the Hunga Chunga Funga Monkey, Inflamed Wood, It's a Trap Productions, Jason Clark, Jeffrey Toon, Jonathan Jerembeck, JJ Jonathan Jerembeck, Mad Mitch Dunaway, Mr. Peabody and his evil twin, Orange Hat Reviews, Outpost Dyer, Patrick Layden, Perpetual Punster, Rosetta Allen, Sir Lanzalato, Theodora, The DJD Show, Theodore Benden, Those Two Bald Guys, U.S. Dutch Kitty, and What an ABC. Thank you very much for being my Patreon supporters. And also a huge shout out to my subscribers. So a huge shout out to, Drunken Welfare Man, Mr. Roy, Box, History Girl, Tina B, G2 Cool 99, Dogstar 57, Laura E. Story, Alex McCarthy Jr., US 888-209 Fast, Fan Annex the Film, Dean Heiss, Harold Francis, J. Rod the Beer Guru, Christian J. Murr, Rolando Scarfullery, Nebanon G. Adams, and ZK Man. You guys are freaking awesome. And also, a huge goodbye to Filmy Professor. He was a Subscribe Star supporter for about 4 months, and he had to leave for very valid reasons. So thank you so much, Filmy Professor. I don't know if you're still listening on DLive or on YouTube, but thank you so much for all of your support, dude. And again, I'm here. If you need anything, just let me know. But anyway, you guys are all amazing and beautiful people. So Griffin Turbo, Tina, Stephanie B., Ryan Summers, Alex McCarthy, Random Bad Creates, Dion, Sierra Productions, Will Gentry. Let's see who else we got. Serbian Terminator, Lou, Ryan Summers. And those are all the names that I see right there. Anyway, you guys freaking rock. And yeah, you guys are all amazing and beautiful people. I hope you have a wonderful day. D-Live people, you stick around. I'll take care of y'all in a second. And I love you. I'm so tired. I'm so tired. Anyway, go see The Joker. Seriously, it's one of the greatest films of this year. And it is not going to let you down. And also, remember, you can't own a hashtag. Everyone should be able to support a fandom however the hell they want to support it. And I'm very glad that we have a bunch of awesome people in here who understand how these things work. You guys freaking rock. You guys are amazing. Have a wonderful night. And as always, God bless.